Welcome to Brooklyn's Finest Entrepreneurs, podcast for future business owners and entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Earl A. Conway, where we discuss the details, trials, tribulations, mindset, and the journey it takes so you being your own boss.
For your dead friends, hey, look, I got dead presidents, hey, blue honey, 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 blue honey.
Shit. I'm your host, Earl A. Conway. Welcome to another episode number 6. We here, baby. How y'all doing out there, man? Hope your family is good. Hope you good. Hope, you're still pressing forward in this entrepreneur journey. And you got some stories and some testimonies, man. You know, I would love to have y'all on. You know what I mean? Hit me up, man. Come through, share your story. You never know. You might inspire one or two or a few. You know what I'm saying? You might influence the world. You know what I mean? Because that's what we aiming for, But let's jump right into it, man. This episode, I was actually listening to an audio book that I downloaded, right? And I would definitely suggest this, right? I listen to audio books when I'm working out, right? It's one of the first things I do in the morning, right? And instead of scrolling through social media, IG, Facebook, and all that garbage, right? What I do is I work out and I have on my headphones, you know what I'm saying? And I'm listening to an audiobook. And most of my audiobooks, I have maybe about 35, 40 audiobooks. But this one in particular really caught my attention, and I was trying to find my phone so I could actually tell you guys the name of it. But it really caught my attention, and I've been listening to it for like the last month because it has a lot of jewels and a lot of gems in it. You know what I mean? And this it touched on this topic that I would like to share on this podcast episode. So it talked about the difference between being a creator and being a competitor, because I think it's an important topic, right? Because we're programmed, or we've been told that in order to bring value to the marketplace, right? In order for your brand or your company or your services to matter, you got to knock the number one person off the number one spot so you could get your shine, right? And what this book does is it actually, how could I put this? It's pretty much saying the opposite of that, right? And it gives you some direction in what that opposition looks like, right? And what it's really saying is that, competing could be fun, right? Competing could put some fire under your ass, right? But that's not longevity, because if you're competing, you always have to compete. You know what I'm saying? Because the framework that it sets up a framework where there's only one trophy, right? There's only one reward, and everybody is competing for this one reward, one trophy, one spot. So if you're running your business and you're competing, okay, what happens when you get to the number one spot, right? Then you always have to keep fighting to stay on number one, because, the way that the framework is set up, in competition is that, there's not enough prize money for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just one. It could only be one winner. And that's not how life works, right? So what this book is opening me up to, and I hope it opens you guys up to, is the fact that we don't have to compete. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's more than enough for everyone, right? And if there's not enough, more will be created. You know what I'm saying? Like, the world is not in any shortage of anything, any type of service, any type of business, any type of entrepreneurial goals that you may have, you know what I'm saying? Any problems, the world is not short of that, right? So you will be compensated, and you don't have to fight for just one spot, right? So today we're going to talk about the difference between competition and creating, or let me reverse that. Creating to being competitive. A creator is a person. A creator could be called an inventor, a developer, or an artist, right? An artist can be a creator. Now, when we're talking about a competitor, right? A competitor is a person who takes parts in a athletic contest. That's the definition, right? So look where I'm going with this, right? A competitor is a person that takes part in a competition, right? Someone who is trying to win or do better than everyone else, right? And even though we may have these urges to do better, right, in the form of providing better service, right, a better product, better customer service, you know what I'm saying, than the other businesses, and we can call them competitors, but we can't take that too literally, because if we take it too literally, then we're always fighting for a spot, right? Where being a creator, right, you're creating, so there is no spot to fight for. There's more than enough, right? There's more than enough customers. There's more than enough needs that needs to be met, right? So I've kind of structured my business where I'm not competing with anyone, you know, and it's really tailored to my life, because way before I actually read this book or listened to it through audio, my life has never been competing. I never competed for no girls, right? I just stay in my lane, right? And I have them come to me, right? I stay in my box, because there's nobody that's going to be better than you, right? So I've always understood that. So I've just worked on being the best that I can be, so I don't have to compete with not a soul, right? And I've never thought that there was any kind of shortage of anything, you know. So I wasn't in you know, I used this term in the last episode. I was never in go mode, right? Go mode for what, right? So I've always worked on creating, being the best person that I can be. So with my business, that's the same approach. Now, we're going to talk about a creator, right? And then we're going to jump into the attributes and what a competitor looks like, right? But for a creator is like this, right? When you create, every man or woman that rises in the ranks to success, a creator opens the door for many others to follow, right? So this is the creator, right? So you created something, you're happy, you're joyful, you're enjoying it, you know that you're creating, and you're excited to share your creativity with someone else, right? You want to see the next person come up after you because you've created it, right? So you want to pour that creativity into someone else. So that's the mind frame. That's how a creator thinks, right? Another attribute is it takes vision to be a creator, right? It takes vision to be a creator because you have to build, right? You have to construct, right? You have to not be distracted by what your competitors are doing, but what you are doing. As a creator, there's no spirit. Like, I've never been creating anything or in a space of creativity where I was worried about my competitor. Yeah, I know they exist, right? I know they doing their thing, right? But my focus is not on my competitors. Because if I'm focused on my competitors, then what am I doing over here? What am I doing for me? How am I creating if I'm worried about my competitors, right? I I I was watching one of these rappers on YouTube. I think it was Lil Wayne, and the interviewer was asking him if he heard such and such album from another artist and this, that, and the third. And apparently the such and such artist was popping or whatever the case may be. And Wayne was like, yo, I'm so busy working, right? I'm so busy creating that I don't have time to see who's hot and who's next or who's coming or what they doing. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but I'm just in my world of creativity that I don't even focus on what them other guys is doing, right? So it's the same thing, right? So follow the breadcrumbs of successful people, how they move, what they do, how they view themselves, how they view the so-called competitors, and how they deal with them accordingly. Because if you're busy in your business and you're creating, that's the key word, and you're creating, you don't have time to be worried about what the other person is doing because it's not going to affect you. As a creator, there's no losing. Because like I said before, there's enough for everyone, but you have to be in that creative space. Because if you're in that competitive space, then you think there's, you have something to lose, right? You have that spot to lose. You have that attention to lose, right? So as a creator, there is no losing. As a creator, you're not racing against time or anyone else, right? And what you're building, the fact that you're not racing, the fact that you're not rushing, the fact that this is not an athletic competition, right? It enables you, it puts you in a space that you're able to build a more sustainable business, right? Even in life, right? You can build a more sustainable life if you're not competing or trying to keep up with the Joneses or watching what they do so you could do it better. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's not like you can do you and still be hot. You can create who you are. You can let the world know who you are, without having to compete or worry about anyone. So it isn't a race, right? When you create, there is no race. There's no rush. As a creator, you understand that there's enough achievement. There's enough success for you and whoever is going to precede you, right? In a creative space, right? As a creator, you're in your own lane. And no one, now, if someone wants to compete with you, right? You don't compete back. For what? You're in your own lane. No one can dominate that lane. No one can dominate that business. No one can dominate that service better than you, but you have to concentrate. You have to put your focus into providing better customer service or providing a better product, right? And not worried about the competition. I always have to refer back. I always have to refer back to nature. Because like I said in previous podcasts, that if you're able to watch nature and watch how nature operate, right? Nature is not competing. Anything in nature is not competing with one another. You might have big eat small and, it's just, just the way things work, right? But that's not competing, right? Everything in nature has its place. Everything in nature is important. Everything in nature wins. Nature teaches us to be creators. When you look at nature, nature is evolving. Nature is creating. It's not competing. Now, here's the icing on the cake, right? Icing on the cake is, as a creator, you're able to, I want y'all to really, really understand the creative process. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the creative process and how that can affect your business, how that can affect you, right? Which in turns affects your business, right? So when you're in a creative state of mind, like y'all ever been like just zoned out in a just creative mode? You may not necessarily know it's a creative mode that you're tapping into, right? But ideas is just flowing, you know what I'm saying? Concepts is just flowing, and you're just thinking of all this stuff, and you're like, yo, yeah, like that's the state you want to be in. Because if you're in that state, God, the universe, right, wants to create, wants to move forward. So if you can tap in to that creative connectivity, right, then you ride that wave. And the universe, God, is able to express himself through you in the form of creating. That's where all the ideas come from. But if you're fighting your competitors, if you're watching what your competitors is doing, if you're trying to outbeat, outwit, outsmart your competitor, I said this term the last podcast, then you hustling backwards, right? Stay in a creative state of mind. A creative being is a being that creates, right? And when you're creating, or when you're in that state, all the ideas that you ever gonna need to forward your agenda, your business, your achievements, your goals will flow through you, and you will be the recipient of all of this awesome shit that's happening in your business. Now, let's talk about what a competitor is, right? So the definition, like we visited earlier on, was a competitor is someone, right, in a sport, right, an athlete that's competing for a trophy or a spot, and what the business world, the entrepreneurial world has failed to do is to make sure that we understand that we're not athletes. There is not just one prize, right? And due to the fact that the business world has failed to make that distinction, a lot of us think that there's only one room or one spot available, right? And that's how the business world pretty much operate, right? You have Amazon. Amazon is on the top, right? Before Amazon, it was eBay, right? eBay was on the top. Before eBay, it was Craigslist, right? Craigslist was on top. Like, all these different companies, is just fighting for one spot. But if you really, really check them and you really, really look internal, they're all winning. They're all winning. They all have millions and millions of subscribers and customers and followers. They're all winning. They're all billion-dollar companies. You understand what I'm saying? There's room for 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 more Apples, right? There's room for 10, 20, 30 more Googles, right? And you don't have to compete because there's enough. There's enough people. There's enough customers to be able to gravitate, or to have them gravitate to your business or whatever your service is. So unlike being a creator, where a creator climbs up the ladder of success and welcomes other creators to follow in his or her footstep, as a competitor, when you get up that ladder, you pretty much pulling up that ladder because you don't want nobody else to come up, right? You don't want no one else to even get close to your spot because you want to dominate. You want to control whatever it is that you think that the world is lacking, right? You have this this shit is mine, right? Like yeah, ain't nobody getting this. You know what I'm saying? But your whole life, your whole business is nothing but a fight. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing but a fight. Do you really want to fight for customers? Or do you just want to provide a better service or just create? Right? There's a big difference. As a competitor, just like the ladder analogy, it's a crab in a barrel mentality. Right? You know, you ever see like a big bucket of crabs, and as soon as one is trying to climb out, then the other one or a couple of them is just pulling the other man down, right? Or pulling the other woman down. Like that's the type of mentality of a competitor, because there's only one spot, right? So like we have to get out, you know? We have to get out. And at the end of the day, no one gets out. And the reason no one gets out, because there's no creativity within that barrel. Everyone is for themselves. As a competitor, when you're in a competitive mindset, it's like, you ever heard this terminology? What you sow is what you're going to reap. Okay. So the same way, when you have a competitive mindset, the same way you rise will be the same way that you fall, right? So if you rise in competing, you know, trying to outsmart everybody and outwit everybody, and it's always this tussle and this fight to get up, when you get up, on your way down, you'll have to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. There is no rest. There is no real achievement. Yeah, you got up there, you tapped the level of success and achievement, and you got the crabs in the barrels just still pulling you down. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's no, not me. I'm not trying to compete with nobody like that. I hope you're not trying to do that either. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to be at the top, right, with my creative mindset, just watching, just watching like, damn. And to be honest, I'll be so busy creating that I'm not even going to have time to watch. Competing, it's okay for sports, right? It's okay for entertainment, right? But business is not a sport, and it's not entertainment, right? It's much deeper than that. Right? It's much, I wouldn't say bigger, because, you know, we need entertainment and we need business, right? But they're different. They're different. Being a competitor creates poverty. You know why having a competitor's mindset or being in a competitive space creates poverty? Because those that's unfortunate, those people that's in a poverty-stricken state, they think that if you have achieved or someone has achieved what they're trying to achieve and they get there before they got there, then all hope is lost, right? And these people stop trying. These people have no hope anymore. They have nothing to look forward to anymore because they think that they lost the race. They think that whatever they wanted has already been achieved and snatched up by this person that got there before them. So in their minds, like, it's a lose. So it creates poverty. Opposed to if this person rose up that ladder of success and entrepreneurship in the spirit of creating, then what it took for this person to get there, the person will not just pull up the ladder. This person that has achieved that through creating will sow seeds into these people. And these people will now have hope. These people will know that, okay, there is enough. And it's not a race. These people will tap into the creative spirit that they have, right? And to be able to create whatever it is that they want to create, to rise to get to that level of that person. Don't get me wrong, right? Competing can add some fuel, right, to your fire, right? It's like this. Like, I normally just go to the gym myself, right? I make my moves myself because, I ain't got time to be waiting and planning and all of that. I just got to get in there, do what I got to do, and get out because I have, like, tons of other things to do. But when I do go to the gym with some partners or, some of my close friends or stuff like that, yes, there is some type of competing there, right? We want to see who's going to lift the most. And me, I'm small, I have the competitive spirit in me, but I don't let that dictate whether or not I'm going to look good when I leave that gym. Because what I realize is that their bodies is different than mine. I realize that they can be stronger than me, fine, right? But the fact that I'm creating my own thing, I know what I want my body to look like. I know what I want to feel like. So when I go in the gym, yes, I have that little concept or that concept of competing with them. And I do use it as a fuel, but it's channeled through me creating the type of body that I want for myself. So when we walk out of that gym, yeah, they can lift more than me, but I look like I can lift more than them, right? Because I'm creating my own thing, right? I may not need to lift as much as they need to get the results that I need to get for me. So, yes, competing or having a slight bit of competitive spirit can add fuel to your fire, right? It can enable you to work harder, right? But you have to be careful with it, and you have to make sure that it's being channeled in the right direction. Here's an interesting, how could I put this? Here's an interesting fact. As a competitor, do you know that there's more, like when you're in that competitive mindset and everything is yeah, we competing? Do you know that there's more losers in that space? Because there's only one spot. There's only one trophy. There's only one reward. Everybody can't get it. It's only going to be one. I don't care if you made it to the playoffs. Yeah, you in the playoffs. Yeah, that's fine. Da, 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 da. Yeah, you get your little, but that means nothing compared to the person that's going to win, right? Or the team that's going to win. So when you're in a competitive space and there's only one slot available for winners, then you mean to tell me that everybody else that's been working hard, everybody else that's been trying, everybody else that's been building their business is going to lose? I don't like those kind of odds. Listen, it might just be me. Maybe I be thinking too much, but I don't like them type of odds. Because that don't even make sense. I'd rather create, have more of a chance, opportunity to be a winner in my own right, in my own lane of what I'm providing, than have to be fighting for one spot. No, you better not be out there fighting for no one spot. Listen, I'm telling you, because there's a lot of losers. There's a lot of losers. Here's a takeaway. Life is a game of creativity, right? It's not a race. You don't have to compete with your neighbor or compete with the business down the street or Listen, if you selling pizza, they selling pizza, you don't have to compete with that. All you have to do is create a better pizza or create better customer service or create a better experience, right? You don't have to compete with that because there's more than enough for everyone. There's more than enough customers for every kind of type of business that you can think of. Whatever it is that you're doing, there's enough customers catered to exactly what you're doing. And you don't have to fight the guy or the pizza parlor next door that's selling, pizzas for $1. You can still sell your pizza for $3, but just create a better experience, right? Create a better atmosphere, right? Create better customer service. It's about creating. Take your time. Like I said, and I keep saying this because this is an important, this is really, really important, right? I'm not racing. I'm not like in no hurry to do anything because I will be moving hastily. I will be making wrong and bad decisions, right? Or because I'm in the spirit of competing. So I steer clear from competing with any other podcasts or any other show. I don't listen. I used to watch, right? I used to watch a lot of shows, a lot of podcasts, get information, this, that, and the third, da, 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 da. But when I got into creating this, I can't remember the last time I had time to really look at what some other podcast was doing and what they were. I got enough information when I was stagnated. I got enough information when I was just thinking about doing this, right? So I don't even need to check in. I don't even need, it doesn't matter because I'm busy creating. Like Wayne, I'm creating. It's nothing personal, but I'm here creating. Bring your dreams, whatever it is that you want to do, bring it into the realm of creativity, right? Just like marry the two. And I assure you, not only will the journey of whatever it is you're trying to achieve will be fruitful, but it will be so joyful because there's a calmness, there's a peace when you're creating. Take on the spirit of being an originator, right? Take on the spirit of being a developer, someone who develops. Take on the spirit of an artist, right? An artist creates, right? Now you got some artists over here who be like, copying and pasting, But you ever notice, for those music fans, right, who really, really follow music, right? If you watch the journey of some artists and their development, right? You may start off, some of those artists may start off sounding like, whoever's hot, right? They flow, they're emulating their voice tones, they jumping in and out of pockets just like whoever the hot person is doing, and they have that sound. But if you follow them and if they're really, really good and if they're looking to really create opposed to just jump on someone's flow, right, in a competitive spirit and then compete with them, because that's where it ends up at the end of the day. Yeah, I sound like you, but now I'm going to compete because I sound like you. You know what I'm saying? So it ends up there anyway. But you ever follow the journey and you see at some point they find their voice? Oh, I love that shit. They find their voice. And when they find their voice, it puts them into a space of creativity. And they go. You can't stop them because they're in their own lane. They're not worried about what this person sounds like anymore. They found their voice. They're comfortable with it. They're confident in it. There's no race. And if they are putting out project after project after project, it's because the creativity is flowing through them so crazy that they have material to be putting out like that. I love to see artists do that. I love to see ball players and athletes get into their own zone, their own space. I love to see entrepreneurs and business owners get into what it is that makes them unique. There's no other feeling like that. Another thing is, I sleep good at night. I sleep good at night, knowing that while I'm sleeping, getting my rest, that my competitor or whoever I'm fighting for whatever spot is up, outworking me. I used to think that. I used to be like, dang, yo. So I used to get up. I used to go to sleep early, get up early, like real early. Like, yeah, I know they not up. You know what I'm saying? I know they not up. They don't even, they still sleeping. So I'm up here working. You know what I'm saying? I'm out working them. Competitive mindset. It has add value to my life. Like I said, being in competition can add fuel. So when I was thinking that way, what that did for me was that it taught me how to wake up early, right? It did give me some fuel to wake up early, to know that I'm up and they're still sleeping, or I'm working overnight while they're sleeping. It adds fuel. But the takeaway is that it wasn't until I made the transition into just creating that it really made sense for me. Now I wake up early, not because I have to compete, but because I want to. There's a joy in it, right? I've created a discipline in it. I love it, right? But it's for different reasons, not to compete, but to create. Creators win all the time. Creators win all the time. The reason why creators win all the time is because they're creating their own stories. You're creating your own story. Who's better to write their own story but you, the person that's starring in the story? I'm creating my own story. You know the joy I get in that? I could change it up. I could put it or send it in a different direction. Whatever I choose to do with it, it's at my pace. I have, what's the word I'm looking for? I've been blessed. You are blessed to be able to write your own story, not only in your business, but in your life. Write your own story. Don't look at what this one got, when they got it, how they got it. Do you? Like, I guarantee you. And it's not to say that you're better than this person or this person is better than you, but you would be able to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. You will be able to shine just like they shine. You will be able to financially be where you want to be just like they are by just creating. Create your life. Create your business how you want it ran. You've been into stores. You see what type of customer service irks your nerves, or what type of approaches, be irritating you, right? You know what kind of issues and problems certain products have. And if you're in the business of creating a better product than the one that you saw out there, then you have the information to create. You have the information to create a better product, to create a better experience. That's where the joy is. That's where the longevity is. That's where the peace is. That's where the reward is. So, let's not compete. Let's create. Till next time.
For your dead friends, hey, look, I got dead presidents, hey, look, for your dead friends, hey, look, I got dead presidents, hey.
Till next time, change your mindset, change your reality. Brooklyn finest entrepreneurs.
Blue honey, blue honey, blue honey, blue honey, blue honey, blue honey.
Let's stop that. We're gonna do it over again. Fuck that. It's a record. It's a record. The thing a record. Yes, it's a record. The buffoonery is still here. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Hey, for your dead friends, hey, look, I got dead presidents, hey, look, for your dead friends, hey, look, I got dead presidents, hey.
Till next time, change your mindset, change your reality. Brooklyn finest entrepreneurs.
Blue honey, blue honey.